understand the following. You cannot operate in negative energy. You can't operate in negative contention and not expect it to haunt you. For example, let's say you comply with the community. And with compliance with the community, I mean you don't use cuss words, you work hard, you're kind towards people, you help the elderly. So you just get along with what the community wants from you. But the community does not reciprocate this by honoring you, by honoring your compliance. Let's say it's your parents who don't value you, and the community doesn't call your parents to an account. In this case, the community neglects you, and the community is actually committing a crime against you. How can the community ever account for this? They cannot. So the community now, now they have a problem. Because anytime you are mentioned, it makes them look bad. So the reputation and the credibility is gone. So the community now, instead of facing that they were the messed up ones who neglected you, they want to blame you for it. Or they will pretend like it wasn't that bad what you've gone through. And this is the weight they're carrying as long as they live. Because if at any point anyone from that community admits that the community was wrong, they will lose the credibility and they have to start from scratch. And this is something most people don't want to go through. The longer people wait to admit their negative contribution, the more severe the backlash will be once they finally admit it. Especially if they made all the effort to deny any responsibility or any obligation for better. So, what's written here in the Old Testament in Proverbs chapter 17, verse 13 is true. If you do not honor those who are truly honorable, I'm not talking about people who just do what they're supposed to do out of resentment, not expect you to treat them like heroes. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when people are truly honorable and they're willing to contribute positively, and they do contribute positively. If you don't reciprocate their honorable attitude, you now are under a curse. Because you now have to carry the weight to always hide what you've done to this individual. If ever you admit what you've done, you're also under the obligation to become better and safer human beings. And even then, this past incident may be brought up. And if it's brought up, you can't say, forget the past, leave the past behind. No, this is something you contributed to. This is a harm you participate in. So people have a right to know for sure that you are safer and better now. So you can never go back to before you neglected that individual. You cannot. And let this be a warning also for those who are so upset and angry for being overlooked and neglected. Do not hoard up resentment against anyone, because that will bring you in the negative too. And before you know it, you may end up declining quality people. Don't. Don't participate in the curse. Alright? And listen, this is also why a lot of people want to hide you. Why? Because they don't want others to find out how they treated you. They will lie about you, or if you were wrong too, they will only highlight your wrongs, what you did wrong, just to make them look better. Because once the full facts come out, they will lose everything. And this is the fright and the stress they live under. And it's fright and this stress will hurt them in the long run. It will haunt their physical and mental health. So there is no such thing as freely getting away with neglecting your community or your fellow men. It does not exist. And if the community agrees with your neglect, the community is now under stress to keep justifying over and over again. But here's the thing, they can't justify it. So at some point, the excuses become intolerable and exhausting. And if then people want to cut out the bullshit, then they have to admit that they've been in bullshit all along. So what do communities often do? They look for another victim to take it out upon. That's what fallen mankind does. So listen, forgive people. If you were the toxic one, forgive yourself. Participate in solutions, move on, and Christ will guide you into better. If people refuse to honor your honorable contribution, every human being should be honorably contributing to the communities. If you act human as God expects you to, and your positivity and your contribution is not honored, it's on those people for not honoring it. It's not on you. But listen, don't neglect yourself by chasing those people, and don't neglect yourself by developing deep-rooted resentment or hatred towards them. No, shake the dust off your feet. Well, that's it for now. Keep accruing Christ also, and be at peace.